What's up, Steelers Nation? Before we jump into today's breaking story, I just want to remind you all, this channel is growing thanks to your support. The Steelers organization is working hard this offseason, making aggressive moves and exploring new opportunities to bring better results for the 2025 season. If you're loving the content and want to stay updated on all the Steelers trade rumors, coaching changes, and player updates, smash that like button right now and make sure you're subscribed with notifications turned on. All right, let's dive in, because there's a lot going on in Pittsburgh right now. And today we've got TWO major storylines that Steelers fans can't afford to miss. Steelers Nation. We all know the team has been aggressive this offseason. They've brought in DK Metcalf to headline the wide receiver group, but let's be real, the depth behind him still a major question mark. While names like Gabe Davis, Amari Cooper, and Keenan Allen are floating around in free agency, the Steelers haven't pulled the trigger on any of them yet. Yes, they hosted Gabe Davis for a visit, but he left without signing a deal. And now, there's an unexpected name emerging from the New York Jets camp, a player with a connection to Aaron Rodgers, and someone the Steelers reportedly liked during the 2024 NFL draft process. That name, Malachi Corley. Corley was a third-round pick for the Jets in 2024, coming out of college with a reputation for being a tough, physical, yards-after-catch type receiver. But things haven't gone according to plan in New York. First off, Corley missed significant time during the 2025 offseason due to injury, and now he's struggling to catch up in a completely new offensive system under a new coaching staff that, here's the key part, didn't draft him. Jets wide receiver coach Sean Jefferson made it clear in a recent press conference, "My old coach, Bill Parcells, used to say, the first thing you need to be is available." He's missed some time, and there's a learning curve here, so he's in catch-up mode right now. Ouch. That's not exactly a glowing endorsement for a second-year wide receiver trying to earn a roster spot. Now, here's where it gets interesting for Pittsburgh. The Steelers hosted Corley for a pre-draft visit back in 2024. They clearly had some level of interest before the Jets drafted him, and now, with New York's depth chart at wide receiver filling up quickly, you've got Garrett Wilson, Allen Lazard, Josh Reynolds, plus a couple of younger guys like Arian Smith and a rookie fourth-rounder. That leaves Corley, Tyler Johnson, and Xavier Gipson fighting for potentially one final WR spot on the roster. Corley could easily become a cut or trade candidate. If he's cut, the Steelers could scoop him up without giving up any draft capital. If it's a trade, it wouldn't take much, maybe a late-round conditional pick, given Pittsburgh's need for more depth and youth at WR. This feels like a low-risk, high-upside move that the front office should seriously consider. Now, while trade rumors swirl around the wide receiver room, there's another situation brewing that every Steelers fan should have their eyes on, and that's TJ Watt's future in Pittsburgh. Recently, former Steelers quarterback and Super Bowl champion Charlie Batch went on the Up and Adams show. And let's just say, his comments about Watt's long-term future were brutally honest when asked if TJ Watt would finish his career as a one-helmet guy in Pittsburgh. Here's what Bach said. "That's tough to say, because I don't know how long he wants to play. He needs to get closer to that Super Bowl. If not win that Super Bowl, for him to be convinced that he wants to stay here." Wow, that's a reality check. Steelers Nation. Box continued by pointing out that Cam Hayward showed what it looks like to stay loyal to one franchise. But at the end of the day, TJ Watt is focused on chasing a Super Bowl. As Box put it, ultimately, the goal in Pittsburgh is not to win division titles, it's to win a Super Bowl. That line should hit Steelers fans right in the heart, because for all the playoff appearances in 9 or 10-win seasons, this team hasn't been a serious Super Bowl contender in a while, and Watt knows it. Let's not forget, Watt is entering the final year of his current deal, and negotiations for an extension are ongoing, but reportedly not going smoothly. Watt hasn't been attending OTAs, he skipped mandatory minicamp, and if this carries into training camp, don't expect him to show up in Latrobe either. This isn't just about money anymore, it's about winning, and Watt is watching closely to see if the front office will make the kind of roster moves that show this franchise is truly serious about chasing a Lombardi trophy. Batch didn't hold back on that either. That's the business of football. No matter how great you are, there's a strong chance the team you start with, you're not going to finish with. That's the cold, hard truth of today's NFL. We've seen it with guys like Von Miller, J.J. Watt, and countless other stars who left the teams that drafted them to chase a ring. T.J. Watt, as much as it pains Steelers fans to say it, is not immune to that trend. If the Steelers don't show him they're ready to contend for real, this could be the beginning of a very uncomfortable chapter for the franchise and its fans. So here's the bottom line, Steelers Nation. The Steelers have decisions to make, and fast. On one hand, should they target Malachi Corley and address their wide receiver depth concerns? Is waiting for final roster cuts the smart move? Or should they be proactive and make a small trade now? On the other hand, will they find common ground with T.J. Watt and show him that Pittsburgh is still committed to winning championships, not just collecting regular season wins? This is one of the most pivotal off-seasons in recent Steelers history, and what happens over the next few weeks could shape this franchise's direction for years to come. Since the start of the offseason, every time someone mentions star cornerback Jalen Ramsey and the Miami Dolphins possibly moving on from him, Pittsburgh Steelers were right there in the conversation. Fans wanted it, the media speculated on it. Steelers insiders hinted at it, and let's be real. On paper, Ramsey wearing the black and gold next to guys like Darius Slay and Joey Porter Jr. sounded like a dream scenario for Steelers Nation. But here's the latest update. According to Gary Dulac of the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette, it's just not happening. During his most recent Q&A column, Dulac was asked point-blank about the Steelers' interest in Ramsey. His response, the odds of this trade happening are slim to none. Dulac made it clear that while fans may love the idea, and while Ramsey still has elite talent at 30 years old, this isn't something the Steelers front office is seriously pursuing right now. Why aren't the Steelers making a move for Ramsey? So, Steelers Nation, let's break this down. First off, even though Ramsey is 30, he's still one of the league's most feared cornerbacks. He brings physicality, elite ball skills, and the type of playoff and Super Bowl experience that would instantly upgrade any secondary. But from Pittsburgh's point of view, there are a few reasons why they're likely staying out of the Ramsey sweepstakes. They already added Darius Slay. Slay may be 34, but he's coming off a strong 2024 campaign. According to Pro Football Focus, Slay graded out with a 67.6 overall rating, not elite, but still very solid for a veteran corner. Pair him with Joey Porter Jr., who's entering year 3 and showing signs of becoming a true CB1. And the Steelers feel like they already addressed their biggest secondary need earlier in free agency. Cap space is tight. Even though reports suggested Ramsey might only cost around $9.9 million in cap space this year, the Steelers are already dealing with financial challenges, especially with T.J. Watt's looming contract extension hanging over their heads. Any move for Ramsey would mean shifting money around or making other tough roster cuts. And right now, Pittsburgh's priority seems to be locking up Watt long-term. Ramsey's contract demands. Remember, it was only a year ago that Ramsey signed a massive $72 million deal with Miami. Even if the trade compensation would be cheap, like a fifth-round pick, as some insiders suggested, the bigger issue would be what Ramsey wants on the back end of that contract. Does he want guarantees, bonuses, a new deal entirely? Those are questions the Steelers front office doesn't seem eager to answer. Adam Schefter leaves Pittsburgh off the list. And here's another interesting layer. Adam Schefter recently reported that he fully expects the Dolphins to trade Ramsey before training camps open in late July, but guess what? Schefter didn't even mention the Steelers as a serious contender. Instead, his list of likely landing spots included several other cornerback-needy teams. But Pittsburgh was notably absent when one of the most connected NFL insiders leaves your team off the list. That's usually a sign that the front office has moved on. Steelers still talking with the Dolphins. But about someone else now? Just because Pittsburgh won't be trading for Ramsey doesn't mean communication with the Dolphins has gone silent. In fact, there's been buzz that the Steelers are still in talks with Miami about tight end Jonnu Smith. Smith, as many of you know, has been pushing for a contract adjustment in Miami, and when that didn't happen, trade rumors started swirling. If Pittsburgh does end up making a move with the Dolphins, it might be for offensive help, not defense. Considering the Steelers' ongoing focus on reshaping the offense around new quarterback options and weapons like DK Metcalf, it wouldn't be shocking to see them prioritize pass-catching help at tight end before camp opens. Steelers 2025 Offseason, a full roster overhaul. Let's also zoom out for a second and look at the big picture here. This has been one of the most active offseasons Pittsburgh has had in years. They've already traded for DK Metcalf, moved on from George Pickens, signed Darius Slade, drafted key contributors on both sides of the ball, while juggling the ongoing Aaron Rodgers saga. And let's not forget, this offense is going to look almost completely different in 2025. Only Pat Freiermuth and Calvin Austin III remain from last year's starting skill group. Everyone else, new faces, new schemes, new expectations. So, when you step back and look at how much change has already happened, it makes sense that the Steelers may not be rushing into another high-profile trade for a 30-year-old corner on a big contract. And what about TJ Watt? Oh, and before we wrap up, let's not ignore the giant elephant in the room. TJ Watt's contract situation is still unresolved. As the final year of his current deal approaches, the Steelers are desperately trying to find a way to lock him up without blowing up the salary cap. That fact alone probably played a huge role in taking the Steelers out of the Ramsey conversation. Because here's the truth. If it comes down to paying for a new corner or locking up your franchise pass rusher for the next 5 years, the Steelers are going to choose Watt every time. What do you think? Should the Steelers make a move for Malachi Corley? Do you believe TJ Watt will finish his career as a Steeler? Or is this the beginning of the end? Drop your thoughts and predictions in the comments. And once again, don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you never miss breaking Steelers news right here with us. We'll be back soon with more updates. Here we go, Steelers Nation. Let's keep the conversation going below.